What's going on, UrbanNation.com? This is Monty, and I'm live at the Indo-American Arts Council / New York Indian Film Festival presenting their kickoff event, The Advanced, the exclusive red carpet screening for Midnight's Children. 1981, Salman Rushdie wrote a novel. 2013, Deepa Mehta made a film out of it. Interviews with Salman Rushdie himself, Deepa Mehta, Samrat Chakrabarti, and Savita Chaudhary. Keep a lock. This is UrbanNation.com. So let's talk about Midnight's Children now. I just wanted to know how did, because I know you were a little behind the scenes in order to get this whole project together. So talk to me about yourself, Deepa Mehta, Salman Rushdie, and Midnight's Children.
Actually, Deepa and Salman are wonderful people, and they're good friends and huge supporters of the IAC. And they really support the arts all through. And then Deepa's husband, David, is her producer for all her films and is also a very close friend. So I think that works. It helps. And we showed Deepa's film in 2008. It was a premiere, and Salman was in the audience, so I introduced them. And next I knew, Deepa tells me, oh, I'm going to be doing his Midnight's Children. Wow, can we announce it at our festival? And we did. We put a press conference quickly together and we announced it. So it was the inception. Of course, they are the brains and the creativity, and they're wonderful, both of them. And they collaborated so much. You know, normally when people work together, it either makes them much closer or they want to kill each other at the end of it. These two have become like siblings.
You know, when I approached, Salman and myself were having dinner together, and we were talking about Shalimar the Clown and making that into a film. And I, to this day, and I'm not kidding, I don't know why it happened, but it was a totally spontaneous, totally instinctive reaction when I said to Salman, Salman, who has the rights to Midnight's Children? You know, I had read the book in 1983, and I'd read it again in 1990s, but obviously it had stayed with me in a very deep way, that when the opportunity came, I asked about it. I still don't know why I did. And he said he had the rights. And I said, how do you feel about me doing it? And he said, go ahead. So it was very simple. And if some things are meant to be, they are easy.
Any specific scene that's your favorite from the film?
There are a couple of scenes. There's a wonderful scene that Samrat did. I'm sure you'll be talking to him, where he finds out that his wife is dead, and the nurse gives him Shiva. And the way he holds him, it's heartbreaking. It's beautiful. That's one of my favorite scenes, yeah.
Just to close this off right now, since we are a youth-based oriented channel, any specific message that you have for the youth, not just for the South Asian community, but for the whole community in general?
Well, absolutely. You know, I'm whenever I get an opportunity, I do make a point of talking to youth, whether it's in universities or whatever. And what I always say to them is never underestimate your history, because where you come from, where you have been, what your nation has been, whether it's your new nation or the nation of your grandparents, is what informs you today. We are what we were.
Why are you so tall, Samrat?
You know, I blame it all on my Bengali march that I've eaten. You know, from the Ilish march, the Rasgulla. This is, you know, usually some people, when they eat that, they grow this way. So for some reason, I grew up this way.
So if I eat Rasgulla, I'll get taller too. Will that work?
Well, if we could also do this. Now he's taller.
Well, I asked Deepa also what her favorite scene was, and the whole film, not just of Samrat's. And she mentioned when the heartbreak, when you found out that the mother of your child, she passes away in the hospital. So how was shooting that scene? And it was hysterical crying from Samrat. How did that feel?
That's right. It was crying for about 2 hours, and to prepare for that role and for that moment, and then the kids, the kids were really 3 days old or something, 2 days old. So it was like real kids, and just like really being in the zone, man. I mean, it was pretty challenging. I think what I love about this character is I got to play a very entertaining, cheery guy who also goes through this tragic, you know, sort of fool. It's very, you know, I mean. So, of course, Salman Rushdie, it's very Shakespearean on some level, you know, the tragic fool.
This gentleman over here does not need any introduction. He's Mr. The Salman Rushdie, so I have no introduction necessary for him. Just a quick question. I've actually seen the film, and unfortunately I haven't read the book yet, but I have seen the film.
Okay,
I just wanted to ask you, what was the whole wait for about over 20 years in order to make this film, the adaptation, into a visual screening?
You know, I mean, beats me. You know, I would have liked to have it happened much sooner. But then I think there's a sort of karma at work, you know, because even though it was long delayed, I feel that the team that we put together now is almost like a dream team. You know, I mean, let's say that the Deepa is certainly the director I would have wished for all along. You know, and I think we had a wonderful cast, and not only the actors, but I think, you know, Deepa Mehta, Deepa's brother, who did the production design, has so beautifully re-evoked the India of the past, the look of it, the feel of it, you know. And then I think Nitin Sawhney's music, I think, is a real strength in the film, you know. And so I think really maybe it was fate that it had to wait. I always thought of it as telling the story of my generation, you know. I mean, I'm exactly 8 weeks older than them, you know, and so I grew up in that world, you know. And so it's a way of just trying to find an interesting story that captures what it was like in those days.
Awesome, man. And also, since Urban Nation is a whole youth-oriented channel, I just wanted to see if you have a message for our youth, not just the whole South Asian youth, but the youth in general.
Well, you know, one of the things I feel is that young people, as I experience them around the country nowadays, have a very high degree of interest in creativity. You know, I think it's a creative generation. I think they respond to the imagination and to imaginative challenges and so on. And one of the things I really liked about this film, as it begins to find American audiences in film festivals here and there, is that the audiences have been very young, you know, because and they come out not saying, oh, this is an old movie about my grandfather's time, you know, but they come out thinking that it means something to them, that they can relate it to their own experience very easily. So I hope that they can do that, and maybe they can, I mean, I can't tell people what to get from it, but I just hope that they will.
You know, when you read the book is so dense and magical, and it's interesting because when you see the film, it's the same feeling. You don't know where you are sometimes, and then you start to go, okay, I'm just going to give in to this, and then it becomes this amazing journey. So I found it very similar to the book in that way, that it has its own rules. I read the book 15 years ago, and I was obsessed with Salman Rushdie, and I even, when he was going through all his trouble, I, at university, wrote an essay on him. And so when I met him, he's now a friend, when I met him, all I could remember was my critical theory essay that was so postmodern, you know, and now I know him as a friend, and it's amazing how life and your dreams and your studies all come together. It's almost as like if you really want it, it happens.